Welcome back, everyone, to your August 21st, 2026 explainer for AI Briefed News. I am so incredibly pumped to have you with us today because, wow, the sheer volume of groundbreaking tech dropping this week is just staggering. We're literally watching the landscape shift right under our feet in real time, moving from basic text generators to full-blown autonomous partners. If you've been wondering exactly how the big tech giants are completely rewiring our daily workflows, our creative processes, and even our digital privacy, you are in the perfect place. We've an absolutely packed lineup today, so let's run through these headlines. Ready? We're looking at OpenAI's massive strawberry reasoning model, Google Gemini Live hitting Androids everywhere, Anthropic's Claude literally taking over your computer mouse, and Apple navigating a maze of EU regulations. Plus, we've got Meta's Llama 3.3 dropping, Mistral's Pixtral Large out of Europe, Microsoft Copilot automating your entire day, Midjourney version 7 finally fixing text generation, and NVIDIA's Nemotron-4 pulling data out of thin air, and ElevenLabs delivering millisecond latency human voices. It is a massive, massive week. To make sense of all this madness, we've broken today's agenda into 4 clear segments. 1. The tech giants' next moves. 2. AI taking computer control. 3. Open source and global AI. And 4. Creative and conversational breakthroughs. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The tech giants' next moves, evolving reasoning and daily integration. So, the biggest players out in California are fundamentally shifting how foundational AI operates. They're moving away from simple prediction and towards deep, deliberate thought. Starting off in San Francisco, OpenAI has officially unveiled their GPT-5 architecture, carrying that famous internal code name you've probably heard, Strawberry. What's absolutely fascinating here is that this completely flips the paradigm. Instead of just instantly guessing the next word in a sentence, Strawberry generates an internal chain of thought. It essentially pauses, thinks through a complex problem step by step, and then delivers the answer. The metrics are showing human-level performance on advanced math, complex software architecture design, and deep logical puzzles. It's really taking AI from being a quick-fire chatbot to a deliberate research assistant that can actually accelerate scientific hypothesis generation. Meanwhile, down in Mountain View, Google has rolled out Gemini Live Voice to all current Android devices, and this is all about the seamless flow of conversation. You can now have a completely natural, real-time dialogue with your phone, but here's the absolute best part. It's interruptible. You can literally cut the AI off mid-sentence, totally change the topic, and it pivots instantly without losing any context. And while you're chatting away, Gemini Live is working in the background, seamlessly syncing with your smart home systems and managing your calendar. It's just a massive leap forward for hands-free, natural mobile interfaces. Now, over in Cupertino, Apple is finalizing the rollout of Apple Intelligence, but they've got a really specific focus on European Union compliance right now. It's a delicate balancing act. Apple is using its private cloud compute architecture to deliver personalized features, think text summarization, and deep Siri integration, mostly via on-device processing. But they're having to carefully align this localized data processing with the strict regional privacy standards mandated by the EU's Digital Markets Act and AI Act. It's just a really fascinating look at how global tech has to adapt to very distinct regional regulations, all without compromising the core user experience. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is how we're moving into Section 2, AI taking computer control, the rise of autonomous agents. We're transitioning from models that just talk to us to models that take direct action for us. Anthropic, the San Francisco-based AI safety and research company, dropped an absolute bombshell with a new feature for Claude 3.5 Sonnet. They simply call it computer use. And guys, this is not some clunky back-end API integration. Claude can now literally look at your screen, analyze the visuals, move your cursor, click on buttons, and type on your keyboard. It navigates your computer exactly like a human would. This means all those repetitive workflows, like transferring data between ancient software that doesn't even have an API, or filling out endless forms, can just be handed off to an autonomous AI agent. Anthropic has, of course, implemented strict security protocols here, but the potential to automate digital busywork, it's monumental. Let's see how this builds into your daily work life. Up in Redmond, Washington, Microsoft just announced Copilot Actions for Windows and Microsoft 365. Just imagine this for a second. You speak a single, natural sentence, something like, summarize this week's sales report, email it to the regional managers, and schedule a 15-minute follow-up meeting for tomorrow. That's it. Copilot Actions processes that one command and autonomously executes the entire workflow across Excel, Outlook, and Teams. It totally transforms the AI from just being a simple drafting tool into an active, independent business partner that's actually executing your daily operations. Moving on to Section 3, Open Source and Global AI, democratizing the landscape. Of course, Silicon Valley isn't the only player on the board here. The really crucial point is the shrinking gap between closed commercial models and open source alternatives. Meta's team in Menlo Park just released Llama 3.3, and they have heavily optimized the parameter efficiency and cost. What does that mean? It means independent developers can now run this model on local hardware and hit performance levels in coding, translation, and logic that rival the absolute most expensive closed systems on the market. This open source push is acting like a massive accelerant for startups and independent researchers all over the globe. And speaking of global, let's head over to Paris, France, where Mistral AI has introduced Pixtral Large. This is a European-built, highly advanced multimodal AI. It doesn't just read text, it simultaneously processes incredibly complex visual data. We're talking highly detailed technical architecture schematics or dense medical imaging. Plus, it's been designed from the ground up to strictly adhere to those stringent EU data protection standards we were talking about earlier. It is a highly potent, enterprise-ready alternative to the American tech giants. Back in the US, hardware king NVIDIA has released the Nemotron-4 model family out of Santa Clara. And this brilliantly illustrates a solution to a massive industry bottleneck, running out of training data. Nemotron-4 actually specializes in generating high-quality, synthetic data. So if you're in healthcare or finance, strict privacy laws mean you absolutely cannot just use real human data to train your new AI. Well, Nemotron-4 creates artificial, highly accurate data that mimics the real world perfectly. This drastically cuts costs and accelerates AI development in fields where real-world data is restricted or just scarce. All right, Section 4, Creative and Conversational Breakthroughs, Sensory Advancements. Pivoting away from spreadsheets and raw data for a second, let's look at sensory advancements. San Francisco-based Midjourney has finally launched version 7, and it directly addresses the two biggest headaches in AI image generation. First off, it has seemingly mastered natural text rendering. That means the signs, labels, and documents inside generated images actually feature readable, correctly spelled words instead of those weird, jumbled alien symbols we're used to. Second, it's achieved flawless human anatomy alongside hyper-realistic lighting and textures. They've also simplified the prompt interface, making it a brand new standard for pre-production in advertising, graphic design, and even cinema. Over in London, ElevenLabs has launched an enterprise conversational AI platform that is genuinely mind-bending. We are talking about generated voices that are entirely indistinguishable from real human beings, operating with millisecond-level latency. There is literally no awkward pause before the AI answers you. And even wilder, the system performs real-time emotional tone analysis on your voice and dynamically adjusts its own speaking style to match your mood. It's poised to completely revolutionize interactive customer service and tech support on a global scale. Finally, Section 5, Autonomy and Privacy Reimagined. Taking a step back, the sheer scale of these advancements we've covered today is awe-inspiring. From OpenAI's deep reasoning and Gemini's natural chatter to Claude literally taking control of your mouse, the frontier of technology is moving at blinding speed. We are seeing a true reimagining of autonomy and privacy. Which brings us to the ultimate question for you today. Looking at features like Anthropic's computer use and Microsoft's Copilot Actions, would you trust AI to have full autonomous control over your daily computer tasks, or do you believe human oversight is always necessary? I mean, how much of your digital life are you truly ready to hand over to an autonomous agent? I really want to hear your thoughts on this, so please drop your perspective in the comments section below. Thank you so much for joining me for this AI Briefed News Explainer, and I will see you in the next one.